Letter 237 by Charles Lamb. Charles Lamb to James and Louisa Kenny Launders, October, 1817. Dear friends, it is with infinite regret I inform you that the pleasing privilege of receiving letters, by which I have for these 20 years gratified my friends and abused the liberality of the company trading to the Orient, is now at an end. A cruel edict of the directors has swept it away altogether. The devil sweep away their patronage also. Rascals who think nothing of sponging upon their employers for their venison and turtle and burgundy 5 days in a week, to the tune of £5,000 in a year, now find out that the profits of trade will not allow the innocent communication of thought between their underlings and their friends in distant provinces to proceed untaxed, thus withering up the heart of friendship and making the news of a friend's good health worse than indifferent, as tidings to be deprecated as bringing with it ungracious expenses. Adieu, gentle correspondence, kindly conveyance of soul, interchange of love, of opinions, of puns, and what not. Henceforth a friend that does not stand in visible or palpable distance to me is nothing to me. They have not left to the bosom of friendship even that cheap intercourse of sentiment, the twopenny medium. The upshot is, you must not direct any more letters through me. To me, you may annually, or biennially, transmit a brief account of your goings-on a single sheet, from which after I have deducted as much as the postage comes to, the remainder will be pure pleasure. But no more of those pretty commission and counter-commissions, orders and revoking of orders, obscure messages and obscurer explanations, by which the intellects of Marshall and Fanny used to be kept in a pleasing perplexity, at the moderate rate of 6 or 7 shillings a week. In short, you must use me no longer as a go-between. Henceforth I write up no thoroughfare. Well, and how far is St. Valery from Paris? And do you get wine and walnuts tolerable? And the vintage, does it suffer from the wet? I take it the wine of this season will be all wine and water. And have you any plays and green rooms and Fanny Kellys to chat with of an evening? And is the air purer than the old gravel pits, and the bread so much whiter, as they say? Lord, what things you see that travel! I dare say the people are all French wherever you go. What an overwhelming effect that must have! I have stood one of them at a time, but 2 I generally found overpowering. I used to cut and run, but then in their own vineyards maybe they are endurable enough. They say marmosets in Senegambia are so pleasant as the days long, jumping and chattering in the orange twigs, but transport 'em, one by one, over here into England, they turn into monkeys, some with tails, some without, and are obliged to be kept in cages. I suppose you know we've left the temple pro tempore. By the way, this conduct has caused strange surmises in a good lady of our acquaintance. She lately sent for a young gentleman of the India House, who lives opposite her, at Monroe's, the flute shop in Skinner Street, Snow Hill. I mention no name, you shall never get out of me what lady I mean, on purpose to ask all he knew about us. I had previously introduced him to her whist table. Her inquiries embraced every possible thing that could be known of me, how I stood in the India House, what was the amount of my salary, what it was likely to be hereafter, whether I was thought to be clever in business, why I had taken country lodgings, why at Kingsland in particular, had I friends in that road, was anybody expected to visit me, did I wish for visitors, would an unexpected call be gratifying or not, would it be better if she sent beforehand, did anybody come to see me, wasn't there a gentleman of the name of Morgan, did he know him, didn't he come to see me, did he know how Mr. Morgan lived, she never could make out how they were maintained, was it true that he lived out of the profits of a linen-draper's shop in Bishopsgate Street? There she was a little right, and a little wrong. Is a gentleman tobacconist. In short, she multiplied demands upon him till my friend, who is neither overmodest nor nervous, declared he quite shuddered. After laying as bare to her curiosity as an anatomy, he trembled to think what she would ask next. My pursuits, inclinations, aversions, attachments, some, my dear friends, of a most delicate nature, she lugged him out of him, or would, had he been privy to them, as you pluck a horse-bean from its iron stem, not as such tender rosebuds should be pulled. The fact is I am come to Kingsland, and that is the real truth of the matter, and nobody but yourselves should have extorted such a confession from me. I suppose you have seen by the papers that Manning is arrived in England. He expressed some mortifications at not finding Mrs. Kenny in England. He looks a good deal sunburnt, and is got a little reserved, but I hope it will wear off. You will see by the papers also that Daw is knighted. He has been painting the Princess of Coburg and her husband. This is all the news I could think of. Write to us, but not by us, for I have near 10 correspondents of this latter description, and one or other comes pouring in every day, till my purse strings and heart strings crack. Bad habits are not broken at once. I am sure you will excuse the apparent indelicacy of mentioning this, but dear is my shirt, but dearer is my skin, and it's too late when the steed is stole to shut the door. Well, and does Louisa grow a fine girl? Is she likely to have her mother's complexion? And does Tom polish in French air? Henry, I mean. And Kenny is not so fidgety, and you sit down sometimes for a quiet half hour or so, and all is comfortable. No bills that you call writs, nor anything else that you are equally sure to miscall to annoy you. Vive la gaieté de coeur et la belle pastime, vive la beau France et revive ma chère empereur. James Kenny and his wife were now living at St. Valery. Marshall was Godwin's old friend, whom we have already seen, and Fanny was Fanny Holcroft. Lamb's friend Fanny Kelly is first mentioned by Lamb in this letter. Frances Maria Kelly, 1790–1882, to give her full name, was then playing at the Lyceum. We shall soon see much of her. We've left the temple pro tempore, referring to the Dalston lodgings. What lady, I mean? Mrs. Godwin lived in Skinner Street. Manning, on his return from China, was wrecked near Sunda on February 17, 1817. The passengers were taken to St. Helena, and he did not reach England until the summer. This must give us the date of the present letter, previously attributed to October 1816. George Daw was not knighted. Probably it was rumored that he was to be. His portrait of Princess Charlotte of Saxe-Coburg, who died in 1817, so soon after her marriage, was very popular. Louisa would be Louisa Holcroft. In Tom Holcroft, Lamb later took some interest.